Welcome back to a new video. On this episode, we're talking about one of the big JRPGs to release this year, none other than Ni No Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, and exactly what you need to know about Level 5's long-awaited new title. Despite being a sequel to the fantastic 2013 original game, Ni No Kuni 2 is set hundreds of years later, following a brand new cast of characters and story, so you don't need to have played the first to jump into the series. The main character you'll take control of is Evan, a young boy who also just happens to be the king of a little place known as Ding Dong Dell that may well sound familiar to you if you played the original. All is not well for the young king, however, as he is dethroned and kicked from his castle by the opposing mouse tribe, setting him on a journey to reclaim his kingdom and rid the world of an emerging darkness. The story is simple in its premise, but is said to have plenty of depth and take a more mature, adult perspective compared to the last. Along Evan's journey, he'll mainly be accompanied by two other companions, the first of which is Roland. Roland is a 48-year-old president from another dimension that also happens to be our own and is thrown into the world of Ni No Kuni, although strangely as a younger 20-year-old version of himself. Interestingly, Roland's inclusion was largely to give slightly older players a character in which they could relate to and will act as an advisor to Evan. The third other main cast member is Tani, a strong-minded tomboy who is the adopted daughter of a man named Batu, the boss of a group known as the Sky Pirates. When it comes to the gameplay, it goes down a somewhat different route this time around. Instead of capturing Pokemon-like creatures called familiars and commanding them in your battles, Ni No Kuni 2's battle system is faster paced and plays out more like a traditional real-time JRPG, with each of the main characters engaging in combat themselves using weapons and magic. Despite the exclusion of familiars, there is the addition of creatures known as Higgledies with over 100 different types to utilise. Higgledies are spirits of heart and have different elemental affinities assigned to them, assisting you in combat in a variety of ways, from dealing damage to applying buffs and debuffs. In addition, a particular class of Higgledies, called Higgledy Heroes, also have benefits outside of battle, from allowing you to reach new areas, clear pathways, or show hidden passages. I think some are going to be disheartened by the fact familiars aren't returning, but the new system in my opinion looks just as good, if not arguably better, based on what's been shown so far. When you are not in the various towns and dungeons, you'll move across a field map, and as here there is an interesting change to the game's aesthetics, presenting all the cast members in a chibi form. It's a change from the first I think will receive a mixed response. Some will find it charming, others possibly not so much. Either way, it shouldn't have any negative impact on the gameplay itself. It's in this chibi form that you'll take place in skirmishes, bouts that play out kind of like an RTS. Evan in this mode becomes a field commander, giving out orders to as many as 4 other units of characters that you've acquired during your adventure in order to take out other units that threaten your new kingdom, netting you kingdom points in the process that can then be used in kingdom mode. We haven't seen much of this mode, but it will afford you a pretty in-depth system that will allow you to create numerous facilities, from shops, restaurants, forges to build weapons, centres to study magic, aircraft bases and more, building and upgrading them over time. And as you'd expect with any JRPG, you'll be able to get a solid 40 hours of gameplay out of just the story alone, but with side quests and the additional activities, you'll be able to get way more than that if you want to. One of the main selling points of the original game was that it was a collaboration between Level 5 and the esteemed animation studio, Studio Ghibli, the team responsible for such classic anime movies as Spirited Away or My Neighbor Totoro, who helped produce the animated sequences and visuals. Sadly, they are not involved with Revenant Kingdom, but before you grab your pitchforks, all is not lost, as former employees of Studio Ghibli, Yoshiyuki Mimosa, and music composer Joe Hisashi, who also both worked on Wrath of the White Witch, returned for the sequel, so there will still be some of the studio's influence in there. Despite several delays that ultimately pushed it out of its initial 2017 launch window, Ni No Kuni 2 has finally gone gold and is releasing later this month on the 23rd of March for both the PS4 and PC. It will also, as you expect, have PS4 Pro support in the form of dynamic 4K and HDR as well. No matter which platform you choose to play it on, it should look and feel really smooth, as Level 5 are targeting a solid 60 FPS, a welcome rarity in today's gaming industry. I haven't been this excited for a JRPG since Persona 5 last year, and if it's anything like Wrath of the White Witch, it shouldn't disappoint. If you played and enjoyed the first, then checking out the second is absolutely a no-brainer, but if you haven't and even enjoy the occasional JRPG, this is certainly one to keep your eye on, as I expect it to receive a great reception. Either way, be sure to let me know down in the comments if you'll be checking out Ni No Kuni 2 or not later this month. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content just like this. Click the thumbnail on the left or right for another of my videos. Thanks for watching as usual, and I'll see you on the next video.